Most people plan trips in completely the wrong order, and it costs them hundreds of dollars before they've even packed a bag. Here's the system that fixes that. Here's the thing. Most people don't have a planning problem. They have a sequencing problem. They find a destination they love. They get excited. They open Google, search for hotels, find something that looks great, book it, and then realize 3 days later that the flights they need don't actually align with those dates. Or worse, the cheapest flights land in a completely different city. So now they're either paying a cancellation fee or booking flights that cost twice as much as they should. That one mistake, booking in the wrong order, is what kills travel budgets before you've even left home. What I'm going to give you today is a 3-phase system that removes that entirely. It's the same order I follow for every single trip I plan. And once you do it this way, you'll never go back. Phase 1, flights. Phase 2, accommodation. Phase 3, experiences. In that order, every time. No exceptions. Let me walk you through exactly what to do in each phase. Phase 1 is flights. And the reason flights come first is simple. Every other decision you make depends on them. Your accommodation location depends on where you land. Your experiences depend on how many days you're actually there. Your budget depends on what the flights cost. Flights are the anchor. If you don't lock them first, everything else is guesswork. Now, most people use Google Flights to search, and it's fine as a starting point. But the tool I actually use to book is Kiwi.com, and the reason is something called virtual interlining. What that means in practice is that Kiwi combines flights from different airlines that don't normally work together, so it can show you routes and prices that Google Flights simply cannot find. And for certain destinations, especially ones without a direct route from your city, the difference in price can be significant. I did a full breakdown of how Kiwi actually works in a separate video. I'll link that above. But the short version is, search Google Flights first to understand what the price range looks like. Then check Kiwi to see if there's a cheaper route Google missed. More often than not, there is. The link to Kiwi is in the description. Now, timing. When should you actually book? The general rule that holds up for most destinations: 6 to 8 weeks out for short-haul European flights, 3 to 4 months out for long-haul. Those windows aren't a guarantee, but statistically, that's where prices sit before they start climbing. What I'd recommend doing is this. Set a price alert on Kiwi or Skyscanner the moment you decide on a destination. Let the tool track the price for you. When it drops into your target range, that's when you book. You're not chasing the price. You're just watching for it. One more thing on flights before we move on. Flexibility on days matters more than people realize. Midweek departures, Tuesday and Wednesday especially, are consistently cheaper than Friday and Sunday. If your dates are flexible, shift them and see what happens. Even a day on either side can move the price noticeably. Once your flights are booked, you have dates, you have airports, you have a budget baseline. You move to phase 2. The first thing is connectivity. Landing in Tokyo or Bangkok or Bali without data sorted is genuinely one of the most stressful airport experiences you can have. You're at immigration. You need to pull up your hotel confirmation. You need to call a taxi. You can't do any of it because you don't have a signal. The solution I use is Saeli. It's an eSIM. You set it up before you leave home. It activates the moment you land, and you're connected immediately. No hunting for a SIM card vendor in arrivals. No paying airport prices. No trying to swap a physical SIM with jet lag after a 12-hour flight. Setup takes about 5 minutes on your phone before you travel. Coverage across Asia is solid. And the pricing is considerably better than roaming through your home carrier. Link to Saeli is in the description. The second thing is NordVPN. And this one matters specifically when you're traveling in Asia. 2 reasons. First, some countries in the region restrict access to apps and websites you use daily. Streaming services, certain social platforms, in some places even Google services. If you don't have a VPN running, you'll land and find things you rely on simply don't work. Second, you're going to be on hotel Wi-Fi, airport Wi-Fi, cafe Wi-Fi constantly when you travel. Public networks. You should not be logging into banking apps, booking platforms, or anything involving a payment on a public network without a VPN running. That's not paranoia. That's just sensible. I use NordVPN. It's one subscription. covers multiple devices, and I have it on before I open any app when I land somewhere new. It's the kind of thing you don't think about until you need it. And then you really wish you'd sorted it before you left. Link to NordVPN is also in the description. All right? eSIM sorted, VPN sorted. Now let's talk accommodation. Phase 2 is accommodation. And the first rule here is one that sounds obvious but almost nobody follows. Book accommodation based on where you're going, not what looks nice in the photos. What I mean by that is this. If you're landing in Rome and you've got 3 days, you don't want to spend 45 minutes in a taxi every morning getting from your hotel to the places you're actually visiting. Proximity to transit, a metro station, a central bus stop, the train station, matters more than the hotel's Instagram feed. Filter your accommodation search by neighborhood first. Figure out where you actually need to be based on your itinerary, then look at hotels in that zone. Not the other way around. For accommodation, I use Booking.com, and the specific feature I use most is the map view. It lets you see exactly where a property sits relative to everything else, which is the single most useful thing you can know before booking. I've left my Booking.com link in the description. If you use it to book, it also supports the channel, which I always appreciate. Now, in terms of what to book, there are a few things I check for every single time regardless of budget. 1. Free cancellation. Even if I'm confident in my dates, I always book refundable where I can. Plans change, flights get canceled, life happens. The slightly higher rate for free cancellation is almost always worth it. 2. Guest score above 8.0. On Booking.com, that roughly translates to consistently good. Anything below that starts to carry real risk, whether that's cleanliness, noise, or a location that photographs better than it actually is. 3. Breakfast policy. If breakfast is included, factor that into your daily food budget. It's one of the easier ways to pull money back on a mid-range trip. Phase 3 is experiences. And this is where most itineraries either come together or completely fall apart. Because there's a version of this that feels amazing, and a version where you spend your holiday managing a schedule instead of actually being somewhere. Here's the difference. Phase 3. Experiences. And I want to give you a framework for this because just saying, go book some things isn't useful. I split every experience into 2 categories. Must book and nice to do. Must book is anything that sells out. The early morning Fushimi Inari tour in Kyoto. That goes weeks in advance. A traditional cooking class in Chiang Mai. Same. The Bagan hot air balloon in Myanmar. Peak season, you need months ahead. Skip the line passes for major temples and attractions where queues run 2 or 3 hours. Anything with a time slot or limited capacity that you actually want, that goes in must book. You pre-book it before your trip. Nice to do is everything else. Neighborhoods you want to walk through. Markets. Beaches. Day trips you'll take if the weather holds. These go on a list, not a booking. You know they exist. You know roughly where they are, but you haven't committed to them. They're options, not obligations. For the must-book category in Asia, the platform I use is Klook. Most people know Klook as an activities platform, and that's exactly what it is. And for Asia specifically, the selection is outstanding. Cooking classes, skip-the-line temple passes, day trips, island hopping tours, bullet train passes, airport transfers. If it exists as a bookable experience somewhere across Asia, it's almost certainly on Klook. The reason I use it specifically over the global platforms for Asian destinations is depth of selection and pricing. For a destination like Osaka or Bangkok or Bali, the number of locally run options on Klook is significantly broader. And because it's built specifically for this region, the pricing tends to be sharper for experiences that are run by local operators. One feature worth knowing on Klook: most bookings include free cancellation up to 24 hours before. This matters more than it sounds. You pre-book because you need to secure the slot, but you're not locked in until the day before. If your plans shift, you're sick, the weather changes. You cancel for free and you haven't lost anything. That removes the real trade-off between planning ahead and staying flexible. You get the slot. You keep the option to cancel. That's the right way to book experiences. For the nice to-do list, build it in Google Maps. Create a custom list named after your trip. Drop pins on everything you're interested in and leave it there. When you're on the ground wondering what's nearby, you open the list and you can see exactly what's around you. No research needed in the moment because you already did it at home. Quick note before the recap. Everything I've recommended today is linked in the description. Kiwi.com for flights, Saely for your eSIM, NordVPN for security, Booking.com for accommodation, and Klook for experiences. All 5 links are there. If you book or sign up through them, it supports the channel at no extra cost to you, and I genuinely appreciate it when you do. All right, let's bring this together. Some of you are going to screenshot this section, and that's exactly what it's here for. Phase 1. Flights. Lock your dates and airports first. Use Google Flights to understand the price range. Use Kiwi.com to find cheaper routes Google missed, and set a price alert so you're watching rather than chasing. Book midweek where you can, before accommodation. Sort your tech. Saely for your eSIM so you have data the moment you land. No airport SIM hunting. No roaming charges. NordVPN so every transaction you make on public Wi-Fi is protected, and you can actually access the apps you need in every country. Phase 2. Accommodation on Booking.com. Location first, always. Open the map view. Pick the area that fits your itinerary. Filter within it. Guest rating 8.0 or above. Free cancellation. Nearest transit link checked on the map. Done. Phase 3. Experiences on Klook. Split everything into must book and nice to do. Must book goes on Klook. Secure the slot. Keep the 24-hour free cancellation safety net. Nice to do goes on a Google Maps custom list. Pull it up on the ground when you need it. That is the system. If you want to go deeper on any of these phases, I've got individual videos breaking each one down. The Kiwi.com video is linked above. That one goes through exactly how virtual interlining works and why it finds prices that Google Flights can't. If flights are where you feel least confident, start there. If this was useful, a like genuinely helps the video reach more people. YouTube takes that signal seriously for a small channel like this one. And if you want more practical travel planning without the fluff, subscribe. New video every week. I'll see you in the next one.